bigger loser if he falls out of this race?
Of course, Fred, 10 days to this particular by-election and close to 400 days to the next election, and looking at the kind of political heat that we have seen from the president and even the former deputy president, this is more or less like a fali wawili wakipigana moment. And for the former DP, I believe that he has a lot to prove because he has done too much talk. He's been talking and talking and talking and really speaking. But whether that talk will actually bear any action, I think ultimately is when the votes are counted. And so there is therefore a sense in which I agree with advice that he has to begin to look at how the talk will be able to bring back the seat, so that a few days to the next general election, we are able to see action, that is going to also mobilize people, because Kenyans, if you look at their political culture, they also want to go with somebody who has some metal to show. So if you are a loser who keeps saying I am winning, but we are not seeing how you're winning, then two things I foresee happening. One is that you're going to be affecting the ultimate turnout. The people will be like, oh yeah, lakini mimi spendi huyo jamaa mwenye ako hapo, but because we are going to lose anyway, let me just sleep at home. Let me just sit, and whether I vote or not, as some of us say, those who say that, whether I vote or not, it will not count anything. Of course, without necessarily realizing that failure to vote is also putting in office the person that you are not voting for. But the second thing, of course, is a political party organizing. That these political parties, particularly DCP, must now begin to move beyond the individual called Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua. They have to begin to look at the political infrastructure of DCP and ultimately the wider coinage of what is called the alternative government, the United Alternative for Opposition, how they are also able to come together and speak from one voice and tone to capture even one single political seat, because that is how their success is going to be measured many, many days to come. Failure to win Ol Kalou, like we have seen in other spaces, and that also boosts UDA. So the President William Ruto will be out there saying, wanaongea tu na niliwaambia nitawanyorosha saa 2 asubuhi. Si mumeona? And that already built some believability from even those people who would not have wanted to vote for the president. So they'll be like, lakini sisi hatuna candidate. Wacha tu tumpigie kura, tuende for another 2 term. Ultimately that day will come. Okay. So again, in finishing is also to encourage people like Prof. Don't just be saying I want to be president from your corner somewhere. Go to Ol Kalou and begin to also speak this alternative message that you have, because that is how you also begin to mobilize other political constituencies. A by-election, particularly a few days to the next election, Fred, you and I know, is as good as that particular election.
Okay. Do you believe there's an underdog in this election? By this by-election?
No, underdog normally